As any empire expands, its leadership becomes easier targets for its enemies, both foreign and domestic. And the more centralized the power base is within a single person or organization, the greater the danger those found in authority find themselves. That's why you see monarchs, hierocrats, and emperors having personal bodyguards to help protect them from physical attacks. Even leaders of powerful democratic states have their own personal security, so it's not surprising that such things are found in works of fiction where high-ranking leaders have their own entourage of security personnel, both uniformed and plain-clothed individuals. And for those that want to show off their importance, they'll have their security personnel front and center, as seen with the Sardaukars in Dune. Greetings and welcome to Checkpoint Gaming. With this 3-episode series, we'll be going over the Dune Imperium expansion Bloodlines, and we'll touch upon base play, the tech module, and a regular number of players, starting off with base play because that'll make the most sense. Since Bloodlines is an add-on to Dune Imperium, it will add the components to the base game, or Uprising, based upon which version of the game being played. With the Imperium and Intrigue cards, most are used with base play or Uprising, while some are exclusive to the Chom and Tech modules, while the 2 Conflict cards consist of 1 Conflict 1 card and 1 Conflict 2 card. And with the 9 new leaders, 1 is exclusively used with the Tech module. There are also some leader-specific components that come in the form of navigation cards, the 2x Sletchboard space, 12 Twisted Intrigue cards, ambitions, and tactics tokens. Regarding the Emperor's Sardaukar forces, although they're amongst the best fighters in the universe, their loyalty can be bought. It almost sounds like the Praetorian Guards of the Roman Empire. With their game tokens, they're represented by the Sardaukar Commander's pieces, which come in the form of 7 plastic figures and 7 wooden cubes, with the players choosing which type they prefer. They also come with 14 Sardaukar Commander skills tiles. With Sardaukar commanders, they're a new unit type which can be obtained by sending an agent to a board space that possesses a Sardaukar commander, spending 2 Solari, and immediately recruiting it. Since this is a space effect, if there are other board space and card effects in play, the player can also take those as well and do them in any order they like. Once obtaining a Sardaukar commander, the player will gain a Sardaukar commander skill by choosing one of the face-up options and placing it into their supply, visible to all players, followed by a new Sardaukar commander skill being dealt out to replace the one taken. With that said, the player can't choose a copy of a Sardaukar commander skill that they already have. After recruiting a Sardaukar commander, it possesses 2 strength, and the player can use it like most other units, allowing it to be placed into the player's garrison, or, if they sent an agent to a combat space, to deploy it into a conflict, allowing it to be one of the 2 units deployed from their garrison. And once the combat has been resolved and rewards handed out, it's returned to the player's supply. When recruiting a Sardaukar commander, 2 Solari will have to be paid for each Sardaukar commander deployed to move it into the player's garrison or into a conflict. So it costs Solari to recruit them, place them into one's garrison, and deploy them into combat. And since they're not acquiring a new Sardaukar commander when engaging in deployment, the player won't obtain another Sardaukar commander skill. When a player has any number of Sardaukar commanders found in combat, all effects connected with all Sardaukar commanders' skills are active with each skill, either giving the player a bonus during their reveal turn or add strength when resolving combat. So the Sardaukar commander's skills only come into effect when at least one Sardaukar commander is in combat, but when not in combat, the skills aren't activated. And each skill will only work once each round, even if the player has more than one Sardaukar commander in combat. There are also some Chom module-specific components that can be combined with Uprising with Bloodlines, adding 6 Imperium cards to the Imperium deck, adding 8 contract tokens to the existing contracts, and adding the Coercive Negotiation card to the Intrigue deck. When it comes to the Earn Any Alliance contract, it is completed whenever the player takes an alliance token that they don't already possess. Players also can't take the new immediate contract unless they have an Intrigue card they can trash. So, the player needs an Intrigue card before they can take this given contract. When setting up Bloodlines, do so alongside Uprising, using the setup protocol we touched upon in Episode 1, along with these additional steps. After base setup, take either the plastic or wooden 7 Sardaukar commanders and place 1 on each of the following locations, with enough space for an agent to be placed during the game. Deliver supplies, dutiful service, gather support, high council, and Sardaukar. Since they're limited in number, only use one of the Sardaukar commander types. If playing a 4-player game, the 6th Sardaukar commander is placed onto the assembly hall. If not, then place it into the box, With the remaining Sardaukar commander, place it into the bank since it is used with the Sardaukar standard Imperium card. From there, shuffle the 14 Sardaukar commander skill tiles face down, construct a deck next to the board, and deal out 4 tiles face up. From there, incorporate the new conflict cards and create the conflict deck as usual. From there, shuffle the 15 new intrigue cards into the intrigue deck as well as the 25 new Imperium cards into the Imperium deck before creating the Imperium row. The 8 new leaders are also to be added to the leader collection with the players selecting from this combined leader pile. But if playing the base game, then place 5 Sardaukar commanders into the following spaces: Conspire, Fold Space, High Council, Rally Troops, and Wealth, with a 4-player game seeing the 6th Sardaukar commander being added to the Hall of Oratory space. When establishing the Sardaukar commander skills pile, exclude the 2 fierce Sardaukar commander skills. Also don't add the new conflict cards. When it comes to the Intrigue and Imperium decks, exclude the False Orders, Grasp Arrakis, Insider Information, Ripples in the Sand, and Sleeper Unit Intrigue cards, the Arrakis Observer, Eliminate Allies, Holy War, the 2 Intelligence Training, Pointing the Way, and Shrouded Council Imperium cards. Also exclude all the Kechoam module components and the Count Hasimir Fenring, Gaius Helen Mohiam, and Liet Kynes leaders. If the Steersman Yurkun leader is selected, then exclude the navigation card that places or recalls a spy. The player who selected it can also look at their face-down navigator cards at any time. And the losing and regaining of influence creates the possibility for said player to reach 2 influence with the same faction multiple times, allowing the player to play a navigation card each time this occurs. If the Esmar Tuek leader is selected, the Tuek's CH board space tile is placed near the game board during setup. And since it's a maker board space, it accumulates spice accordingly. When using his signet ring, said player can place an additional spice on Tuek's Siech, followed by gaining it when placing an agent on said space, all of which occurs on the same turn. With Count Hasimir Fenring, the player who selected him won't gain Solari when trashing an intrigue card. And with Chani, during setup, the tactics token is to be placed onto the track that is found upon the leader card and in the space that corresponds to the number of people playing. Once the token reaches the rightmost space, it will reset, thus having it return to the starting point for the given game. If the player loses, or has enough troops retreat that would cause it to pass the end of the tactics track, said player will reset to the starting space and not advancing for those extra troops. Regarding the spy with deep cover icon, it not only allows the player to place a spy as usual, but to also ignore another player's spy when placing their own. But if the player already has a spy in the location, they can't place another spy there. There are also several Imperium cards that include the phrase Command 6+ in their reveal box. During the reveal turn, the player will use the effect that follows if they manage to generate 6 or more persuasion. With the combat icon, it allows the player to deploy troops into a conflict as though they sent an agent to a combat space, deploying any units they recruited that turn and up to 2 additional troops from their garrison. And if the player has 2 or more of this icon during their turn, they are unable to deploy more than 2 units from their garrison. With the wild battle icon, it only appears once within Uprising, causing the rule to state that during endgame, the player will have to match it with another battle icons found in their supply. But in Bloodlines, more wild battle icons are added, causing the rule to be updated so that during endgame, the player will have to match a wild battle icon with any other battle icon that is found in their supply, being paired with one of the 3 standard battle icons or with a second wild battle icon. In either case, flip the matching pair face down and gain 1 victory point. When it comes to the Bloodlines icon, it appears on the lower right-hand corner of the components that come with this expansion and are used purely for reference purposes. And when it comes to that of the Twisted Intrigue image, it marks the given intrigue card as only being able to be used when playing with the Peter de Vries leader. So with that said, that is what you need to know about how to go about incorporating Bloodlines into base play and Uprising. With that taken care of, we can start talking about the tech module that comes with this expansion. If you liked this episode, feel free to give it a like. And if you want to stay up to date on any future episodes we upload, go ahead and subscribe. You can also support us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/checkpointgaming. See you in the next episode and happy gaming.